My name is Laura Mack. I am the Pastoral Associate and the Director of Faith Formation at St. Peter's Church in Rome, New York. My vocation began at my baptism. When my parents brought me to the church, I was claimed for Christ, and God placed in my heart a love and a desire for Him. My family and the faith community gathered there made a commitment to nurture that love and desire for God. The first time I felt a call to a true vocation was when I felt called to marriage, married life, and motherhood. I met my husband, we fell in love, we got engaged, and we talked about what it would look like to raise a family. We knew that our family would be grounded in faith. Both of us came from families of faith. My own parents, in their commitment to each other, to our family, and to God, were the perfect example for me in how I wanted to raise my family. My husband and I also made an agreement that we would raise our family in a very traditional way. I would stay home with the children and he would go to work. And throughout this, I knew that I was following a path that God had designed for me. When my children were a little older, I volunteered in my parish's faith formation program. And it was then that I felt God calling me to something more. Kathy Lennon, the Director of Faith Formation, encouraged me to participate in Loyola University's Institute for Ministry program. I was hesitant, but with the support of my husband, who is my biggest supporter, and my pastor, Father Phil Hearn, I said yes, and I went back to school. That program changed my life. I learned more about the church, I learned more about God, I learned more about my Catholic faith, but I also learned more about myself and my call to ministry. In 2003, Father Hearn hired me as the Director of Faith Formation in our parish. It's a job that I love and I have put my heart and soul into over the years. Fast forward about 10 or 12 years, Father Hearn and I were walking through the church having a casual conversation when he said to me, "You know, Laura, you could run this parish." And I chuckled. But that comment led to him nominating me for the Pastoral Leadership program in our diocese. I had indeed felt I was being called to something more, and I wasn't sure how to proceed. The Pastoral Leadership Office has provided me that opportunity. In 2018, Father Hearn named me a Pastoral Associate. And while I'm still unsure where this path is leading me, with the guidance of my current pastor, Father Sean O'Brien, and the Pastoral Leadership Office, I'm confident that God will place that path in front of me and I will follow it. Throughout the discernment process, there are two things that have been vital for me: prayer and patience. I've never been a person to pray for a specific outcome when I pray, but I have prayed that God conform my will to His. Each morning when I get up, I pray a simple 2 sentences. Gracious God, thank you for the gift of today. May my living reveal your goodness. And then I ask Him to conform my will to His. It's not always an easy prayer. I often have my own agenda. But I know that by following God's plan, I will have the fulfillment and joy that I am called to in this life. If you're discerning a vocation, I would encourage you to practice patience. I know from experience that sometimes we jump in and want to practice our ministry before we really know the plan. Practicing patience helps us to let God unfold His plan in front of us, and then we have the grace to follow that plan in His time, not in our time. A vocation, properly lived out, builds the faith life of others in the church, builds the church, which in turn builds the kingdom of God. I'm Laura Mack, and that's my story.